So today I'll be making vegetarian lasagna. So what you need for that is you need some lasagna sheets, those long lasagna sheets. You need some assortment of vegetables. So I've got one onion that I've diced. I've got 2 cloves of garlic here that I've chopped up. I've got potato here, one potato that I've diced and I've parboiled. So parboiling just means that when you boil it, you don't let it become too soft, so it has a slight bite, because obviously I'm going to cook it further in the oven. I've got a large carrot here that I've diced. Because I'm making vegetarian lasagna, I'm actually having quite chunky vegetables. So this carrot I've cut in half and I have cut quite chunky. I've got mushrooms. This is around 10 mushrooms that I've sliced. I've got aubergine. This is roughly half an aubergine. Aubergine is the same as eggplant, or some people call it garden egg. This is the purple variety. So I've cut that in quarters and I have sliced them a little bit chunky as well. I've got a courgette here. Some people call it zucchini. I think they call it zucchini, but it's also known as the courgette. I've got 1 courgette that I've cut in half and I've sliced as well. Because I'm making the vegetarian one, it's nice to also have things that give you a quite nice bite. That's why I've cut them a bit chunky. You also need some tomatoes. You can use the fresh plum tomatoes, or you can use chopped tomatoes, which is what I'm using. You need some seasoning like salt, pepper, or stock. You need some mixed herbs, because obviously it's Italian, so you want to have some of those herbs. And then you need a white sauce, which people call the Bechamel sauce. That one you can either buy it in the store, or you can make your own. If you look, I've actually put one of the videos that I've made of showing you how to make your own bechamel sauce. Okay. The first thing to do is saute the mushrooms. So in here I've got just a little bit of olive oil. I'm just going to saute the mushrooms. That just basically means that slightly frying them until they soften. Okay, so once the mushrooms have been sauteed, so they've been softened slightly, like now, just take them off the heat. In the same pan, after you remove the mushrooms, add the onions, garlic, the carrots, the aubergine, and the courgettes. Leave the potatoes over. Don't add the potatoes because they've already been boiled slightly. So basically we're going to cook this until it softens slightly. When you're cooking these vegetables, if you find that the pan starts burning a little bit, just add some water to it, or just a little bit of water. This is going to also help to soften up the vegetables a little bit more. Okay, so the vegetables have been cooked sufficiently. If you see, the courgettes has softened slightly, and the color of the aubergine has changed. So now we add the potatoes and then the plum tomatoes as well. Okay, so I've added the potatoes, and this is actually 2 cans of chopped tomatoes. The reason why I use chopped tomatoes is because I like to have that extra texture. I'm now also going to add some tomato paste or tomato puree to it and just season this sauce. Okay, I forgot to say, just add half the sauteed mushrooms to this, just half the volume of the sauteed mushrooms. The seasoning I used some vegetable stock. I've used some peppers. I've used some curry powder as well, and I've used mixed herbs. But any kind of seasoning that you like, you should use it. So reduce the heat and allow the stew to simmer and stir it occasionally. When it becomes slightly thickened, then the stew is done. So the stew has thickened nicely, the vegetable stew has thickened nicely. So it's now time to prepare the lasagna. So in an oven dish, put just a thin layer of the vegetable sauce in here. Yeah. So by doing this, it just enables the lasagna sheets at the bottom to cook well. So now you add the lasagna sheet. The amount of lasagna sheet you add just depends on the size of your oven dish. And don't the sheets I'm using have already been pre-cooked, so I don't need to cook them anymore. Feel free to break up the lasagna sheets if it doesn't fit perfectly on the tray. Okay, so I've got a layer of lasagna sheets. I just push it down, and the next thing to do is spoon over a layer of the vegetable stew over it. So I've spooned over a layer of the vegetable stew. The next thing to do is add a layer of the white sauce or bechamel sauce. When I'm making Italian food, I tend to like to put mixed herbs in my white bechamel sauce, and also add the remaining, we split the mushrooms into half. Add the rest of the mushrooms to this sauce. It gives it a nice bite. Yeah, so stir it around the remaining mushrooms, and just layer this over that stew layer, sorry. This is roughly a third of the white sauce. So repeat the process by layering again with the lasagna sheet, then the stew, then the white sauce, and repeat it until you get almost to the top of the baking dish. Okay, so I'm now almost at the top of my oven tray. So what I do now is I put a layer of lasagna sheet and then another layer of the white sauce. Okay, so I've just put the layer of the last third layer of the bechamel sauce over the lasagna sheet, and I'm just going to sprinkle over with cheese. You can use any cheese you want. I mean, this cheese that I'm using is a combination of Parmesan cheese and cheddar cheese, but any cheese will do. Okay, so I put the grated cheese on, and now you put it in an oven that is a preheated oven, which is at 200 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit, for roughly 30 to 40 minutes. Basically, you just take it out when you see the cheese has melted and it's become a nice golden color. Yeah, so that's the lasagna done. You see that the cheese has melted and it's a nice golden color around it. So you can serve this with garlic bread and just salad. If you're serving it with the garlic bread, just put the garlic bread into the oven at the same time you're cooking the lasagna, because you basically cook garlic bread at a similar temperature. So that will also speed up the process as well. So I hope you found this information useful and you enjoy making your lasagna. I mean, if you want to make lasagna using just the meat, you can do that as well. Just make your own meat stew and follow the same process. But I just thought I'll make a vegetarian one. Yeah, like I said, just enjoy the meal.